Hey everyone, welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we grab all sorts of fascinating material, articles, research, maybe even your own notes, and really dig in. We pull out those absolute best, most useful insights just for you. And today we're diving into something incredibly practical, something that can genuinely elevate, well, pretty much every conversation you have. We're talking about powerful English phrases, specific words, expressions designed to make you sound, sharper, more confident, and ultimately just more impactful.
That's precisely it, yeah. Our mission for this deep dive is really to unearth those phrases that give you that extra edge, as one of our sources put it. And look, these aren't obscure academic terms nobody uses. No, they're strategic linguistic tools, things that help you express yourself with a bit more polish and honestly boost your credibility, whether you're in a professional setting, maybe an academic discussion, giving a presentation, or even just having a serious chat. These phrases are about communicating clearly, efficiently, and with undeniable impact.
I think we all want that, right? Sound a little more polished. And what's great is we've pulled insights from, a whole stack of excellent sources today. We've tried to weave together their wisdom to bring you the most valuable nuggets. Okay, let's unpack this then. So let's kick things off with a challenge I think we all face. How do you cut through the noise? How do you get straight to the point? It's just so easy to get lost in the weeds, isn't it? Especially when you're explaining something complex. I know I've definitely been there. Have you found some of these summary phrases particularly useful in, say, high-pressure situations?
Oh, absolutely. What's really fascinating here is how these phrases aren't just about condensing ideas. They subtly signal to your listener that, okay, you're in control, you've done the thinking, and you're about to deliver the core message. They're kind of like viral highlights, if that makes sense.
Like, at the end of the day. That's a good one. It isn't just summing up, is it? It subtly positions you as someone who's considered all the angles and arrived at this, grounded truth. It feels almost like a verbal mic drop sometimes. Signals resolution, clear thinking. For instance, you might hear someone say, "We've explored every option, but, at the end of the day, success comes down to consistent effort." It just lands definitively.
Right. And for a quicker summary, maybe slightly less formal, in a nutshell, is brilliant. It tells your audience straight away, okay, here comes the essence, makes you sound concise, organized, but a quick word of caution maybe. Make sure you have provided enough context beforehand. Otherwise, in a nutshell can feel a bit dismissive if the listener still needs more background. You could say, after all our discussions, in a nutshell, we need to improve customer service. Clear and direct.
That's a really good point about context. Yeah. And building on that idea of distillation, we have, to put it succinctly, this one feels a bit more formal, doesn't it? Almost like a power move. Really good when you've laid out a detailed explanation, and now you need that clear, elegant bottom line. It shows real command of your ideas. You can take this complex discussion and just boil it down. Imagine presenting lots of data and then saying, we've analyzed market trends, customer feedback, competitor activity. To put it succinctly, now is the optimal time to launch.
Precisely. It gives that sense an executive summary right there in the conversation. And then maybe when a discussion is getting a bit sidetracked, where you need to state the fundamental problem or solution, the crux of the matter is incredibly effective. It's just a sophisticated way to say the main point. Sounds decisive, cuts through the noise. I remember seeing a project manager use this once. It completely derailed a meeting that had gone way off topic. It was like hitting a reset button with just a few words. Look, we've debated the details, but the crux of the matter is whether this aligns with our core mission.
Okay, so we've got tools now to cut through noise, get to the point. But what happens once you are in the thick of a discussion? How do you gracefully navigate opinions, maybe even challenge them without causing friction? That's where this art of agreeing, disagreeing, building rapport comes in. This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these phrases are absolutely fundamental for building trust and for showing maturity in how you communicate. They signal that you value collaboration, that you encourage critical thinking, even when you're offering a different perspective. It's really all about being authentic, but also respectful.
Yeah, that authenticity really comes through with a phrase like, "to be honest." You use it when you're sharing your real opinion, but gently. It doesn't imply you're usually dishonest, of course, but it builds trust. It signals a moment of candor, softens things maybe, but still gets your point across. To be honest, I think we could try a different strategy. It just feels more approachable.
And that being said, That's incredibly powerful. It lets you balance two contrasting ideas without just canceling one out. It shows a mature, sort of nuanced thinking process. You're acknowledging complexity. Like, I love working remotely. That being said, I do miss in-person meetings sometimes. You see both sides.
And for gently offering an opinion, maybe some advice without sounding pushy, for what it's worth, is perfect. It conveys humility, right? But also helpfulness. It's kind of an understated way to offer support or a perspective. Like, for what it's worth, I thought you did a really great job on that presentation.
Exactly. And when you want to show strong agreement, real alignment, I'm on the same page, is just wonderfully concise, clear, instantly builds that connection, that clarity, shows you're unified. Yes, I'm on the same page. Let's move forward with the plan. It just says, yeah, we're together on this.
I love how these set the tone. And speaking of tone, that's a valid point, is one of my personal favorites. You use this when responding to someone, right? Yeah. Especially if you're about to offer a maybe different angle. It shows you're actively listening, you're acknowledging their perspective before adding your own. It's just so good for building rapport, showing critical thinking. You might say, thanks, Sarah. That's a valid point about the budget constraints. However, I'd like to suggest we also consider.
Such a great bridge. Yeah. And similarly, to really foster collaboration, building on what Naeem said is excellent. It's smart when you're adding to someone else's idea because it positioned your idea as a logical extension, not just some random thought. Makes you sound like a real team player. For instance, building on what David said about user experience, I think we also need to consider the onboarding process specifically. See, it integrates.
Right. And sometimes you need to, test an idea, maybe flesh out potential problems. Let me play devil's advocate for a moment. Is super effective for this. It signals critical thinking, a desire to explore all the angles. It frames a potential objection as constructive, not, confrontational. Creates that safe space for a rigorous discussion. This proposal looks solid. Let me play devil's advocate for a moment, though. How would we handle a significant delay from the supplier?
Good one. And for those moments when you just need a concise, maybe more formal way to fully agree, especially in structured settings, I concur is your phrase. Sounds decisive, professional. But the quick tip here, maybe use it sparingly. Or you risk sounding a bit like you're in a courtroom drama.
Yeah, probably not every 5 minutes.
Right. But when you do use it, it adds weight. After reviewing the data, I concur with the assessment that we need to pivot.
That's a great caveat. It really is about using the right tool for the job. Okay, now let's pivot slightly. Let's talk about phrases that ensure clarity and really highlight what truly matters. Because, let's face it, in this world of information overload, being clear and making your point stick is, it's more important than ever.
Exactly. This brings up a really critical question. How do we not only express ourselves clearly, but ensure our message is truly understood and remembered? These next phrases are designed for exactly that, helping your key messages resonate, be absorbed.
Okay, so if something isn't clear and you need clarification, but you don't want to sound rude or dismissive, I'm not sure I follow is perfect for that. It shows you're engaged, you're listening actively, and you're not afraid to ask for more detail. It's actually quite confident. I'm not sure I follow. Could you clarify what you meant by that last point? Much better than just,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you really need to drive home a critical message, a key takeaway, I'd like to underscore, is a fantastic choice. It's just a stronger alternative to, I want emphasize. Sounds more professional, more focused. It basically tells your audience, listen up. This bit is absolutely crucial. The results are promising, but I'd like to underscore the importance of maintaining data quality throughout the next phase.
And if you need more information or clarification on something specific someone said, but you want to sound thoughtful, not abrupt, could you elaborate on? Oh, Gertie's so much stronger than just saying what, or I don't get it. It shows real engagement, a desire for deeper understanding, demonstrates that critical listening. That's an interesting perspective on the timeline. Could you elaborate on the risks you mentioned? Okay, so we've covered getting to the point, navigating discussions, ensuring clarity. What's left? Well, how about phrases for actually managing the conversation itself and planning those next steps? This is where you really start to take control of the flow.
Exactly. These phrases are really powerful tools for managing the flow of a discussion, steering it towards productive outcomes, indicating a clear path forward. They show leadership, a sense of direction, even when things feel a bit uncertain.
Let's touch base. That's a great one for suggesting a quick check-in or follow-up, right? It's professional, it's clear, and it confidently sets an expectation for, continued communication. Let's touch base next week to finalize the project details. Simple, effective.
And to respectfully return to a topic later, maybe if it's not the main focus right now, let's circle back. Works perfectly. It's professional, shows you're managing the agenda, but without just dismissing the point. That's a great idea, but let's circle back to this after we've reviewed the core data.
Right. And when things are flexible, maybe uncertain, and you don't want to commit too early, let's play it by ear, shows you're adaptable, relaxed, suggests flexibility without being totally vague. We don't have to decide. Now let's play it by ear.
A really strategic one here is, let's table that for now. Use this when a topic comes up that's important, sure, but maybe not relevant right now. Or if it's starting to derail the main agenda, it's a really professional, polite way to postpone something. Shows you're managing the conversation, keeping it on track. That's a crucial question about implementation, Mark. Let's table that for now and circle back after we've finalized the core strategy.
Oh, that's good. And finally, when you're proposing a solution or a next step that directly addresses a point that was just made, to that end, is beautifully elegant, I think. It directly connects an action or suggestion right back to a goal or problem you just discussed. Shows that logical flow, that purpose. Our goal is to increase customer satisfaction. To that end, I propose we prioritize the feedback system upgrade this quarter. See? Connects perfectly. Okay, now, knowing all these phrases, that's really only the first step, isn't it? Actually using them naturally, that's where the real magic happens. It's like having this amazing toolbox, but not quite knowing how to wield the tools effectively.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Knowledge is, well, most valuable when it's understood and then actually applied. So we've got a few practical tips, just ways to truly integrate these phrases into your communication, make them feel authentic to you. First, really listen. Pay attention to how Fluent speakers use similar phrases naturally. Listen in podcasts, in meetings, watch TED Talks. How do they weave them in? What's the context?
Second, and this is important, don't try to learn and use all of them at once. That's just a recipe for sounding artificial, right? Instead, pick just 2 or 3 phrases, the ones that feel most useful to you right now. Maybe they address a specific communication challenge you're facing. Practice those specifically this week. Try to make them yours.
Third, and this is absolutely crucial, context is king. Use these phrases where they fit naturally, organically within the flow of conversation. Forcing them in when they don't quite belong just sounds awkward. That totally undermines the impact you're going for.
Yeah, definitely. And fourth, confidence is key. When you deliver these phrases, say them clearly, with conviction. Even a simple phrase sounds exponentially smarter when it's delivered with that calm assurance. Your delivery, your tone, it's just as important as the words themselves.
And finally, remember that principle of less is more. Sprinkling these phrases in strategically, occasionally, that's incredibly powerful. But using one in every other sentence, well, that's just going to sound unnatural. You can actually dilute the impact you want. Think of them like seasoning. A pinch enhances the flavor, but too much just overwhelms everything.
And there you have it, our deep dive into these powerful English phrases. They really are designed to help you sound smarter, more confident, and yeah, more approachable too. Boosting your credibility in pretty much any setting. It really is about communicating with intention.
And maybe a final thought, beyond just knowing these phrases, consider this. How can consciously choosing your words fundamentally transform not just the impression you make on others, but the actual quality of the connections you build? It's a subtle shift, perhaps, but a really profound one to think about.
We really encourage you to pick just a few of these phrases. Start practicing immediately. Choose the ones that resonate most with how you want to show up in your conversations. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, please do consider following, subscribing, maybe leaving us a review. It genuinely helps us reach more learners like you, and honestly, we love hearing what resonates. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep communicating powerfully.
Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe for more English learning videos. See you in the next lesson.